we please give a round of applause to just all of the first years in creative writing who have gotten up here and spoken? Just amazing. It's not an easy thing to do. Okay? So our next one is another first year, Felipe and his piece, Hellstorm Nothingness. And this is the last piece before we have another little break, so we're all good. My name is Felipe, and I am motivated by a need to express myself and to entertain people with those thoughts. This often means that I write stories about characters that aren't human, characters who tower over us, and those who sacrifice themselves against the undead. There are so many nice and interesting humans, yet when I think about a human, I think of a boring 9-to-5 office job and the bleak reality of apartment complexes dominating the view around us. I write fantasy fiction to escape the apartments that block the clouds. I write non-human characters so that they never have to worry about the company profits and menial promotions. One of my greatest blessings and curses is my profound ignorance. You can ask me anything, and unless I happen to stumble upon it or someone else told me, I won't know. The lens I use, which barely allows me to see the outside world, forces me to look elsewhere to make creative work. And my writing is a product of deep personal reflection. Welcome, Felipe.
I wrote that for understanding creative practices. It was a little activity that we did, and I felt it was appropriate here. And before I go on to the piece as I pull it up, so we ended up the literary salon last time with Salty, and I flipped through a catalog of characters, selected one, and then a few days later I started writing. And they are angry. Like, that is kind of like the whole deal. Like, I've had them beat up on people just because they said a word a wrong way. But I tried doing that. I tried to get them to fight out of anger, out of spite, but nothing. It felt bland and wrong. It felt boring. It felt too normal, even for them. So I kind of looked elsewhere. And with that, my brain pulled up one sentence. And then I wrote, and that was really good, because I felt it was more reflective of the person if I put them in a position that they weren't used to at all. So I will start now. Standing at the head of the coffin, I contemplate the decisions taken whilst I served them. I remember the day I decided to truly embrace my best qualities. The day when he approached me and guided me to do what I was good at doing, what I enjoyed doing. I remember days sparring with him as the lightest of snowfalls graced us. The first day I beat him, I was ecstatic, beaming with pride, and it didn't matter that he let me win. It didn't matter. Other people solemnly approach his coffin from the varying cultures that he has befriended in his time, from the Yaval belonging to the nomadic order of war, to the sorcerers from the coast with brisk air who have decided to make the journey to the cold wastelands we call home. It was pleasant seeing all the great things he accomplished, hearing every word that was spoken in goodwill. I choose to withhold my words for now. I do not wish to let anyone else hear my goodbyes. I am not afraid of what the others think, but I believe they aren't deserving to hear words meant to be between the dead and myself. I stand patiently, waiting as the guests begin to leave, slowly streaming out of the temple, one by one, eventually leaving just me and him. Time slowly crawls forward, yet I stand as still as the mountain, with barely a breath to keep my heart beating, until I inevitably cave in and take a few careful steps. Choosing to kneel by his side, I gently reach out, slipping my hand into his. The cold comfort is nauseating, but even that doesn't force me to break down. I pull on his hand, letting it caress my face, like how he used to do it when I was scared. There is neither solace nor sorrow now. Why must it be like this? I saw the looks on their faces as tears ran down their cheeks. I heard the words spoken that were filled with melancholy. Why am I not like them? Why am I not moved? Why is there not a single sign of grief? I feel the lightest of aches upon my heart, so I know I feel something. Why can't it force me to curl up and wail throughout the night? He was not like the countless soldiers that I lost while on the battlefield. He was not just somebody I trained. He was not the man who taught me how to fight. To me, he was more than a king. He was my father. Throughout the century that I've lived, he taught me so much. Why can't I grapple with the grief of his death? Why must I grapple with my inability to feel? There are no scorching tears in my face, only a blank expression with closed eyes. I finally let go of his hand, gently placing it back, but the nausea didn't go away. There is nothing for me here, nothing to deny, no anger to hold me, nobody to bargain with, no depression to yell with, no need to accept anything. He is simply dead, and I am simply alive. I hear the grand temple doors grind open, the blessed steel demanding the stone beneath it to move as it releases a distressing cacophony. Near silent footsteps from an unknown prowler slowly drifts towards me, but I do not care. I simply stay at my father's side, giving whatever warmth I can afford. They approach me and kneel by my side. I turn not to see some unwanted guest, but to see my older brother beside me. It's not my place to tell him that we are struggling with different things. He looks at me, and his eyes scream for help. Somebody to tell him that everything will be alright. I wrap an arm around his body, pulling us closer, letting our heads lean on each other. He doesn't sob or weep. Instead, the tears gently stream down his face as he closes his burning eyes. I have no words that can comfort him, but no words comfort me. The only thing I can offer is a person who wouldn't abandon him, somebody who would protect him till the end. He knows this, of course. I didn't need my words to pierce the sound for him to just read my mind. He spots my emptiness, though. Through it all, he sees that I'm a hollow shell wanting to fit in. And out of the void, an aching heart hits me. Sadness washes over me, and I almost begin to weep from the shock. But I recognize that this isn't my sadness. He's wrapped his mind around mine, sharing what he feels. It hit me like lightning, leaving me unable to think. I didn't expect to feel so small, and even if this feeling isn't mine, even if this feeling is diluted, I still accept it. When he is done letting his sadness leak out of him, I wipe his face clean from the salty tears that redden his milky white eyes. I pull us both up, making sure that he won't break down again. We both look at our father, trying to remember everything he taught us, and then we both slowly walk away, leaving him to the gentle light and the howling winds. So that was Hailstorm, and you might have inferred it, but she's not human. As I say in my bio, none of these characters were human, but I never went out to describe it because I didn't think it was necessary, because that wasn't really the point.